Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Roman Reigns hasn't been seen on WWE television since being attacked by Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker on the Raw after WrestleMania 41. What if the Tribal Chief returns on this Friday's episode of SmackDown and recruits a former champion to the Bloodline? The Night of Champions Go-Home edition of SmackDown will feature 3 title matches, including a last woman standing match between Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax for the WWE Women's Championship. It's the latest chapter in the rivalry of the former best friends, with Stratton seemingly having Jax's number. Stratton defeated the multi-time world champion last month, but the story between them is not over. Nia Jax's chances of winning are high, since she'll be harder to put down for a 10 count. With Rikishi talking about the possibility of having a women's bloodline, it's not hard to imagine Reigns coming out and congratulating Jax after her match. Evolution 2 is set to happen next month, so a female bloodline group certainly adds intrigue to the upcoming all-female premium live event. Naomi, who is also a real-life member of the bloodline, could cash in her Money in the Bank contract and start the group instead. Nevertheless, Roman Reigns' return will likely happen at a bigger event like Night of Champions or SummerSlam. He has a score to settle with Seth Rollins' group, which includes his former wiseman, Paul Heyman. As for the female bloodline group, Tamina is still signed with the company, and Ava is the current general manager of NXT. If Reigns ever gets involved with them, it's possibly just to introduce them or acknowledge their presence. On a recent episode of WrestleBinge's Q&A, Hall of Fame wrestling journalist Bill Apter and WrestleBinge's answered some fan questions. One of those questions was about Roman Reigns' imminent return from a 2-month absence. It will be interesting to see if the OTC returns on SmackDown and becomes part of Jacob Fatu's feud against Solo Sikoa, or on Raw, where he could get his revenge on Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman in what could be one of the most shocking developments on the road to SummerSlam. WWE may be preparing to deliver a blockbuster twist on SmackDown involving the return of Roman Reigns and the unexpected recruitment of a former world champion into the bloodline. After months of absence following his WrestleMania 41 loss, the undisputed Tribal Chief has been the centerpiece of speculation, as fans and insiders alike await his next move. And now, fresh rumors suggest that Reigns might not only be on the verge of making his long-awaited return, but may do so by expanding the bloodline in a way that could change the very foundation of WWE. The bloodline storyline has consistently remained one of WWE's most layered, emotionally charged sagas in recent memory. With Solo Sikoa taking command of a splintered version of the faction, aided by Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and the monstrous Jacob Fatu, the group has evolved into something darker, more violent, and more chaotic. But the absence of Reigns has left a vacuum of legitimacy, one that even Paul Heyman has struggled to maintain. This has led to internal tension, with reports suggesting that Heyman himself has grown increasingly uncertain about his position within this new regime. All eyes are now turning to a potential reset, or at least a major twist that could come via Reigns' shocking return. But perhaps the most buzzworthy part of this speculation is that Reigns is reportedly looking to bring in a former WWE champion who has never been affiliated with the bloodline but could dramatically change its identity. Early signs and cryptic social media activity point toward none other than Seth Rollins, Reigns' former Shield brother, as the potential new addition. While the idea of Rollins joining the bloodline might sound like a storyline out of fantasy booking circles, WWE is no stranger to explosive alliances, especially when business and history collide. With Rollins recently sidelined following his own WrestleMania clash, and with his future uncertain, the timing for a character reinvention could align perfectly with the Bloodline's next chapter. This shocking possibility gains more traction when analyzing the long, complex history between Reigns and Rollins. The two have been both allies and bitter rivals, with their intertwined careers forming some of the most memorable matches and betrayals in modern WWE. Reigns, the power-driven Tribal Chief, and Rollins, the mercurial architect, have always shared a magnetic chemistry that captivates audiences. If WWE chooses to pull the trigger on this unexpected union, It could reignite the flames of nostalgia while simultaneously elevating the current storyline to never-before-seen heights. Adding further fuel to the speculation is the way Solo Sikoa has seemingly distanced himself from Paul Heyman, despite initially declaring loyalty to Reigns' teachings. Sikoa's increasingly aggressive leadership style, more ruthless than calculated, has seen him clash with opponents, management, and even the Bloodline's own heritage. In the eyes of many fans, this has set the stage for Reigns to return not just as a savior of the legacy he built, but as someone who needs to reassert dominance. And if doing so means calling upon someone like Rollins, it could create an earthquake of consequences across both SmackDown and Raw. However, Seth Rollins isn't the only former champion linked to these swirling rumors. Other names being thrown around in insider circles include AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre, and even Bobby Lashley. Each of these stars brings their own unique backstory and potential friction to the table. Styles, who has his own tumultuous history with Reigns, could see the move as a necessary evil to reclaim the spotlight. McIntyre, always looking to settle scores and prove his dominance, could theoretically align with Reigns if the terms suited his personal goals, and Lashley, the almighty force of nature and leader of the Hurt Syndicate, would be an earth-shaking addition, though perhaps too much of an alpha in his own right to submit to Reigns' command. Still, Rollins seems the most narratively rich option. His recent injury could be used as the perfect setup for a shocking return segment, where he confronts Sikoa's version of the Bloodline, only for Reigns to appear and extend an olive branch. Imagine the visual. Reigns standing beside Rollins once again, the crowd torn between awe and disbelief. Paul Heyman, conflicted yet intrigued. Sikoa seething at the notion of losing power. The Samoan Heritage faction reborn with an outsider, yet also an original brother-in-arms from the Shield altering the group's DNA in unimaginable ways. Such a development would also create massive storyline opportunities for others. Cody Rhodes, the man who finally defeated Reigns at WrestleMania 41, would have new challengers if Reigns returns not alone but backed by someone like Rollins. Jey Uso, now far removed from the Bloodline and forging his own legacy, might find himself torn once again. And Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and other locker room veterans would certainly take issue with this new version of the Bloodline trying to reclaim control through calculated loyalty shifts. Furthermore, the narrative intrigue surrounding Paul Heyman cannot be overstated. Heyman has always been the glue binding the Bloodline together through manipulation, psychology, and strategy. But in recent months, he's appeared fractured, hesitant, silent, and even scared of Solo Sikoa's brutality. A Reigns return alongside a former champion like Rollins could either re-establish Heyman's confidence or push him into an entirely new arc, possibly even betrayal. Would Heyman align with Reigns and Rollins again? Or has he found a new home under Solo's reign of terror? That internal chess match between Reigns and Solo, with Heyman as the prize, could define the next major phase of WWE's long-term storytelling. This possible twist on SmackDown comes at a crucial moment for WWE. With SummerSlam on the horizon, the company is actively looking to stack the deck and draw massive buzz, especially with AEW surging in international markets and rumors of more WWE roster cuts. Bringing Reigns back in dramatic fashion not only spikes ratings, but also provides a perfect setup for a SummerSlam main event involving multiple layers of betrayal, history, and shifting allegiances. Adding to the hype, cryptic promos have started, airing on WWE programming dark screens with the faint sound of tribal drums and a voice muttering the word "return." While not explicitly tied to Reigns, fans have noted the timing and symbolism matches his character motifs. Social media buzz exploded after last Friday's SmackDown when the lights briefly flickered during Jacob Fatu's match, something fans took as a subtle signal that Reigns is watching and waiting. Could this be the beginning of the Bloodline Civil War's second act? If WWE is brave enough to pivot into this unexpected direction, the payoff could be monumental. The idea of Roman Reigns coming back not to destroy the Bloodline, but to reshape it with the help of someone like Seth Rollins would shake the entire locker room. It forces Solo Sikoa to not just defend his turf, but prove he belongs at the head of the table. It raises questions about loyalty, legacy, and power. And it opens the door to dream matches Reigns and Rollins versus the USOs. Rollins versus Jacob Fatu, Cody Rhodes versus the new Bloodline. That could fill main events for months to come. Only time will tell if this SmackDown twist will come to pass. But the seeds have been planted. Roman Reigns has been away long enough. The chaos within the Bloodline is reaching a boiling point. Paul Heyman is silently screaming for direction. And the WWE Universe is craving a moment that reminds them why. They've always called this the golden era of storytelling. If the rumors are true, and Reigns does return with a former WWE champion at his side, SmackDown may never be the same again. The tribal chief could be on his way not to reclaim but to rebuild. And when he does, he may not be alone. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.